thank you for joining me today. This feels like the start of something big personally. And so I'm very excited and I'm happy to share this time with you guys. So I have this first part is not on your guys' sheet, but it's the opening to my book. And I felt that it might be good here. So thank you for being with me right now. As you hear these words, our souls are connecting. Knowing the beauty that you bring into this world, I am truly honored to be in your presence. When you see this beauty for yourself, your life will be changed. And I wrote those words, and I also realized after I wrote them that they were for me too. And so it's been very interesting and exciting to discover my own beauty. All right, so on the top of your sheet it says, love is active. God is love. The will of love is always to provide love. I mean, what else would love want? What else would love will? God's will, then, is always to provide love. May God's will be done. This practice is highly intuitive. As we go, please explore these concepts in whatever way appeals to you. Allow your intuition to change the practice to what will serve you best. Ultimately, we're all on individual journeys. This tool is likely only a stepping stone for you to explore and express greater heights of your own essential being. Now, here I'd like to ask, could have done it before, but how familiar are you guys with meditating? I know a little bit of Natalie's familiarity, and she's experienced some of this before. So how about you? Do you know much about meditation?
I do. I've been a long-time practitioner. I began meditating when I was 19. So I've tried lots of different styles. I've, my own, I shared with you Vipassana experience, but I've gone through guided meditation to yogic meditation to Buddhist meditation, and I've done a lot of sitting over the last couple of decades. So that's my journey.
Fantastic. Well, we might skip the introduction to meditation then, because it feels like it might not be needed. And honestly, I would love to have a conversation with you after all this, because my primary experience with meditation is this. I don't really know any other styles, because as I was going through my journey, this is what was coming through, and this is what I was learning as I went. So I would love to hear your take or your reaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since we're somewhat familiar, let's just jump into step one.
Okay.
And we'll do a bit of a 10-minute meditation up front after reading step one. And then I'd like to share and talk about our experiences at that point. And then I'll probably have more to say after that. But I like to just kind of dip the toes. So while meditating, step one, while meditating, breathe in and out as slowly as you can comfortably. Hold the words "thank you" in your mind while breathing in. Hold the words "I love you" in your mind while breathing out. Place your awareness on your heart chakra in the center of your chest. Be a witness to everything that happens there as you breathe. Notice everything within this space and take it in without judgment. Your physical body and how it feels, the feeling of aliveness within each cell, and any and all other sensations that appear within your awareness. Feeling and becoming aware of all these sensations is the same process as feeling your energy. It is becoming aware of how your energy feels as it changes while you breathe. Just be aware of it. Take it all in. Repeat this process until you can easily feel this energy. Are there any questions about the instructions before we get going? I'm going to have you guys close your eyes and begin, and I'll read the instructions one more time, as you start to get into it. We'll meditate for about 10 minutes, and I'll be paying attention to the time. And when we're done, I would like you guys to open your eyes, but continue the breath exactly as you were before, and continue to feel the energy after you've opened your eyes and ground it in. While meditating, breathe in and out as slowly as you can comfortably. Hold the words "thank you" in your mind while breathing in. Hold the words "I love you" in your mind while breathing out. Place your awareness on your heart chakra in the center of your chest. Be a witness to everything that happens there as you breathe. Notice everything within this space and take it in without judgment. Your physical body and how it feels, the feeling of aliveness within each cell, and any and all other sensations that appear within your awareness. begin to open your eyes, but continue breathing and continue focusing on the words thank you and I love you.
That was very interesting for me, Andrew. I'm going to go ahead and talk on it because I wrote about it, so it's just easier for me to also follow up with that.
Please do.
Thank you for the reminder of writing it down. So, I don't know how far into it we were in, and something or someone was here, like right next to me. It was the most comforting, almost kind of like, if I could describe it without seeing it, because my things come in for sensations or feeling or knowing, right? But this I felt like all on this side of my body only. Almost kind of like they were like, oh, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like this curious, because it was like coming in and kind of going out and just like, what are you doing? And then I kind of smiled and I'm sitting there. And then I started, you know, as I'm doing the thank you and I love you, I directed it toward whatever that was.
Awesome.
Which was, I don't know why, but I did that. And then I felt like a hand like this, just really gently on the top of my head, and then just release, and then it didn't come back again. So I'm holding on to that moment because that was really fascinating. Nothing like that's ever happened to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I think the directing the thank you and I love you was an intuitive move, and I think that was awesome.
It's like these, like the best way to describe how I felt whatever presence was just this, almost like a tingly energy, but real gentle, and just curious, but very just loving, very loving.
Interesting.
And I guess I'll bring up the other. So I've been really wanting to come here to practice meditation because I have a hard time and my form is a little bit different. So having a place that I already feel really safe and secure here. So I'm actually really thankful. I know, no offense, but that it is so small for this time because I really needed this tonight.
Yes.
And whatever that was really beautiful. And I'm going to hold on to that one.
And no offense taken, by the way. I'm of the firm belief that whatever is supposed to happen will happen. And so to me, this is perfect. So thank you for sharing very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love the word focus, the thank you and the I love you, because I always describe my mind. I have monkey mind. It wants to move all the time, especially in times of quiet. And I have not been able to sit recently for my own practice for a while. So it took me a bit to get into it. But I could, like, the following the words was so helpful because even as my thoughts were appearing, I was able to put the thank you and I love you into the thoughts that were coming forward. So like, and I'm thinking about daily life stuff as it arises, and I'm breathing thank you and I love you. And then it just like an awareness settles over me as I'm settling, my spirit settles, my body is relaxing, that it is this like, this new methodology that I can use to infuse in my day, like in those moments that seem so just ordinary, or even like the things that stack up in my day. And by the time we got toward the end of it, I was fully immersed, and then I was like, oh my gosh, now it's time to come back out. So so I'm ready to dip back in, but I am very much with you. Like, I feel like this is the right number of people in the right space, but I'm so full of gratitude for even having the opportunity to do this.
Right.
Because I've been so busy and so in motion, so sitting, and I like the quiet. I really do. I really do. So
Everything's so, yes, just the quiet. I needed the quiet.
Thank you for sharing. You really touched on what step one is about. And step one is purely there to help quiet the mind and to help focus it and to help feel the energy inside. Because it's all about feeling that energy, because once you can feel the energy, it's easier to feel it at other times. And then step 2, which, later. But step 2 is about letting the words fall away more and focusing more on the energy and diving into that a little bit more. So I've found exactly what you described with step 1 and with, the people that I know that have tried it, which is the words help just give your mind something to hold on to without letting it wander too much or giving it too much to do. And so it can kind of start to take that back seat. Perfect. I'm very glad. And how about you guys feeling inside? Did you feel much in there?
I'd say opening up. I was so over, I don't know, whatever was happening here was taking so much of my focus and what those sensations were. But I really feel like, the more that it's, thank you, I love you, I use it a lot. I mean, not a lot, so it's sprinkled in, kind of like what you said, because I'd taken one of his, I'll say 2 of the classes now, but taking these classes, and then I think also giving my mind something, because my mind will run, right? But when I know, okay, I've got this job to do, and I'm saying it so slowly in my mind with my breath, and then when those thoughts come in, I'm like, they'll be there, but then I can kind of intermix them into, no, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Until then you kind of get in that space, you're like, okay.
Yes.
And this is also a great, so for me, I end up using this breath work all throughout the day. And, oftentimes in conversations or while I'm doing things. But one of the biggest uses to me is if I'm feeling overwhelmed. If I'm just like, there's so much to do, so much to think about, I don't know what to do anymore. If you take a moment while you're in that space and you do this breath work, and there's some other breaths that are good, we can talk about them if you're curious. But if you take a moment to do this breath work and to really center yourself around, all I have to do is just be for a moment. It really, and the other funny thing is that I've found that, in my opinion, the most valuable thing that you can do in any situation is fill the situation with love. And so even if you are, a little bit like overwhelmed, filling yourself with love in that moment helps you to really see what's important for right now. And so once I've done that, it helps me to see, here's all these tasks that I was thinking of. That's not going to affect anything today. That's not going to help today. This one, I need to do that now. This will help for later tonight, so I'll put that there. So it really kind of helps see what's important or more relevant to right now.
Oh, I was going to mention, did I mention a name that came in?
You did not.
So Barbara kept coming in. Barbara. And I was like, okay. And then Heathman, I don't know how it would be spelled. But it's always interesting for me because that's when things usually come instead of visual for me. I'll get words. But it's interesting to get a name this time.
And are you connected?
I know my Aunt Barbara, but she's here and alive. So yeah, I'm like, I can't think of anyone else, so I don't know. Maybe that's whoever this was. I don't know. It's like Barbara. I'm like, okay, we'll remember you. Got it.
Okay, so next, I'd like to talk about what I call the ocean of love. And I'm sure you may have heard similar stuff in the past. A lot of what I read off of this is what I've written for my book, so it's just segments. And there's a lot more, so if you have questions about any of this, or if there's a topic that you've found challenges with in your spiritual journey, please do feel free to ask, and I might have something that could speak to it. All right, the ocean of love. We exist in an unending field of collective energy. Energy permeates and constitutes every physical and non-physical object in our reality. A helpful way to think about this energy is like a massive ocean. We are immersed in this ocean. It is all around us and flows through us. Energy can exist in greater and lesser concentrations. For example, the energy concentration of a human is higher than the energy concentration of air. Energy can exist in more or less complex structures. For example, the energy structure of an animal is more complex than the energy structure of a rock. Everything that exists is continually emitting energy in some form or another. When we are aware of this, we have the opportunity to consciously emit helpful energy. Do you guys have any thoughts or questions about that concept? You might have heard that part before in the last class, because I feel like that's a good one for talking about what we're doing with this. Because at the core of it, and you've read the promotional materials, at the core of it, we're always emitting energy based on our emotions.
Right.
And so this helps to redirect the emotions to more positive things.
Yeah. I like the ocean analogy because it's very much, like what we put out can be felt in so many different ways and by so many different people, whether we are aware of it or not, just like that ripple in the water. And yeah, I love this, the notion of being completely surrounded by it, because we absolutely are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you think about, again, in these statements, even air is made out of energy. If you think about the atmosphere on the planet, it is gravitationally pulled and kept here. Well, it really is as though the whole planet is this ocean of energy, and it's just being pulled into this concentration. It's a very odd and fun thing to explore in meditation by itself. Okay. So because I was trying to keep this light and leave room for more contributions, I don't have a ton structured out, so I would like to take a moment real quick to ask if there's anything that you guys have found to be a challenge on your spiritual path recently. And the reason why I would like to ask that is because I would like to potentially talk about it, and then in our next meditation session, something might come through for it. So at this time, is there anything that you feel or comes up in your mind?
Yes. I have some, I think, things that have been pushed down that I probably should have been really upset about are kind of starting to come up. And so I'm noticing myself really having to contain being irritated or frustrated with people, because in the job that I'm in every day, I, for the most part, prepare myself. It works out, but lately it's been a little rough, and I feel a lot of people right now are kind of like, I need you, 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 I love you, I love you. They want to be all around me, and I'm like, I need to hibernate because I have some big things I need to work out. So that's what I'd like to put out there, because that's, I think, what I've been kind of struggling with, is kind of keeping that. I know that stuff needs to come up, so I don't want it to go back down.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's get this over with. Let's kick this a little. Is there something I need to know? Yeah, because that's been coming up in spurts.
Perfect. So one thing I will say is that with this meditation, I find that it's always helpful for me to begin with the thanks love breath. And again, there's other breaths. We can talk about those if you're curious. But I always begin with the thanks love breath, because to me, it's like starting the engine. and getting things charged up. So I begin with that. But something that I was talking about last night at the Mystic Wisdom Night with someone is that I process so much emotion, so much of everything that's been happening to me in my meditations. And one way that you can do that is by beginning with the breath, get charged up, feel the energy, and then just allow whatever those emotions are that have been pushed down, just allow them to rise by themselves and just place your awareness on them. Mm-hmm. And you can let the breath fall away if you want to, if it's too hard to keep a hold of at the same time. But just place the awareness on the breath, or place your awareness on the emotion, and just stay with it and let it be there and process it and just follow your intuition about it. Because one thing that's been making itself clear to me, especially lately with all the craziness that's happening in our world, is that stuff only gets processed when it comes up. And so if we don't ever let it come up, it never gets processed.
And so it just keeps bubbling up, and then it'll come bubble up, and it'll keep bubbling. Yeah.
And it never goes away. So I would like to ask a little bit more about it. So these challenges it sounds like it's a matter of self-maintenance. Like you're not able to maintain your own flow enough, or the amount of people that are needing things from you is draining you too much. Is that correct?
It's almost like, I don't feel fully drained, but I don't, so I'm in a place right now where I don't really know what I'm feeling, because where I'm at right now in my life as far as my journey, I feel very disconnected to all of the chaos in the world. I have no idea really what goes on besides maybe what the people share. I'm realizing the chaos in everyone around me, people that I work with, especially every single day, the coworker I have next to me. The energy is so over the top. Her mind is constantly, ooh, 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 and she does it with everything, and I'm just sitting here and I'm just watching, and I'm like, watching these people are panicking, and I don't know if people have always been this way and I'm just extra calmed down. So I don't know. And then I know I've been doing some drumming and then also working very gently with Moldavite, because that also has helped bring things up. I just found out I can't wear Moldavite out in public around people because it makes me angry.
Okay.
I'm not angry, but it's helping me work through stuff, and it's a little aggressive. So it has to be gentle. So that's kind of where I just think, yes, there's so many. And my son is like, Mom, hi Mom, hugging me all the time. What you doing? Come have lunch with me. Like, so much. This boy is 18 and we're very close, but I mean, he is like, he's just here. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know what to do with, like, he's hugging me every 5 seconds. Yeah. So I'm just kind of going with that. My brother comes down today and he's just like, hey, were you upset at all at me? Because I went and hibernated. I'm like, not at all. And he goes, come here, and he hugs me. I'm like, what is happening? These people are all freaking out. So there's a little elaboration of whatever. There's a lot happening, and when I talk to customers on the phone through the job that I do, because I'm actually technically a bill collector and loan consultant, people are scared, and people will, in my life, this has always happened, but it's amplified. People will tell me everything. Yeah. Everything. Yeah. They need to. And I've been able to separate to where I almost feel like it goes through my energy and then it just filters out to whatever it needs to be. And at the end, people are, thank you so much. Thank you so, and all I did was just sit there and understand. Yeah. Or say, I know there's a lot going on right now. It must be really hard. So it's like I'm feeling balanced, but then there's this little teeter where there is a part of me going, this is a lot. Are you okay?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like you're taking the words out of my mouth. Like I could say, and it's just so funny because today I shared a post on social media that was pretty much like I'm feeling this like people need me so much, but right now what I need is myself.
Yeah. Right.
And the collective is disrupted. The collective is disrupted. So I'm, I have been an empath my whole life, and what I'm doing right now is I'm allowing, because I've been my whole life pushed the anger down, pushed my true thoughts down, pushed my authentic voice down, and now it cannot be contained, and I don't want it to be contained. So I'm allowing it to rise, and I feel like it is okay, because part of what's happening with me right now is like my daughter, she's just like, she comes home and she puts her head on my shoulder if I'm typing, and I'm like, what is going on? You're okay, I'm okay, but it's like she's trying to pull something from me.
Okay.
And right now, I give so much that I don't want to be pulled from. So I'm figuring out how to take a lifetime of people pleasing and listening and supporting and turning it inward so that I can do a better job of filtering this energy through as it comes and being that conduit, that, like that. Thank you for just holding space for me. But what I have done my whole life is held space and absorbed it.
Yeah. Okay, and I got you. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing
but,
that.
Yes, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was I have to just say this.
Well, I feel this. It's all the same thing, and it's interesting because there's so much going on, and I'm like, are you guys okay? Like, I'm so concerned about people coming in because it's what I would explain as somebody on drugs, or maybe a mental illness where they're in manic. They're manic. They're like, there's a lot of chaotic energy. But I'm like, but I don't think everyone I'm seeing is like on drugs and manic, but it's. So I'm very thankful to be here in this space and where I am, but I think there's a reason for it that's really big. Yes. So that's why I'm also making sure I have my little bits for my peeps, my close peeps, but I really have to take care of me. Yes. Because something big's coming. Yes. Yeah.
Well, and I think a couple things came to mind through all that, and one of them is that to me it feels like people are in this, I don't know, you could almost call it an altered state, because everything is so chaotic. But it's not just the chaos, it's that everything is shifting. Yeah. Everything is moving, and people are looking for stability. And I think that people who have made progress on their spiritual path have a more stable energy. Mm-hmm. And so people who are looking for stability may gravitate towards that. But what I think, to me, what really was coming to my mind was that I think this is a time where we're all learning this lesson of maintaining ourselves. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's, I always find it funny because, we might be put in uncomfortable situations, or we might not, be enjoying something, but whatever is coming up, and especially if it's uncomfortable, to me is a lesson from the universe in some way or another. And so it really feels like collectively we are being nudged forward through this. It almost feels like a final piece of, if I maintain myself and I am wholly secure, I'm a rock. I'm immovable.
Stability.
And then one thing I would like to say about your coworker that has very intense energy, and anyone else that you encounter. This may sound rude, but I promise I don't mean it to be rude, and it's not directed at you. It's about other people, not you. Is that from my experience and my path, I believe the universe views us humans in a very similar way that we might view baby kittens.
Mm-hmm.
We're a bunch of little idiots running around
Yeah.
that we don't know what we're doing.
Yes.
And if you've ever encountered a kitten in the wild that you're trying to rescue, they just hiss at everything. They're just scared as heck, and they just go nuts. And once they start growing, they're bumbling, they trash everything. They're just the dumbest, cutest little things. And we're very much that way as people. In our path of consciousness, really, even the most advanced of us are still children at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're coming across someone who's like really intense, you're like, wow, that's really dumb, or unhelpful, or I can't believe you think that way. To me, it helps to think of them as an adorable baby kitten who's just doesn't really know what it's doing, but they'll figure it out.
Because I see that, yeah, it's like this process where she, because I tell her all about the stuff I go do in the classes. One day she will come into a sound bath. She's kind of like, she dips her toe in, because she just has a lot of anxieties and stuff. Yeah, she's like, oh, I gotta do that. I just gotta get myself together. I will. But she's, there's a lot of medications involved, and she's got a lot of pain and these things, and yes, and it does. It's kind of like you have to separate and go, okay, I'm gonna love this little baby kitten right where they are, because I am a kitten too. I'm different place, or maybe
maybe you're slightly grown more.
Right, just a baby hair, right? Yeah. So I appreciate you mentioning that too, because I think that's also important. That's why I'm able to really just be with people, because I meet them right where they are. Right where they are, no matter what it is. I am right here with you, and I'm gonna just be here with you, and it's fine.
That's the best way.
And people need that so bad right now.
Absolutely.
They're like, please just be with me, just see me. I feel like a crazy, so many things. And so I think it's just really important to do that when we can with people, but then also making sure we keep our stuff, because every day it's like this new thing where I really do have to practice my boundaries and my energies. I'm like, their things are their things, my thing, their stuff's my, whatever. Theirs is theirs, mine is mine. It's very important, and I have to do that, because over the last couple of years, that's what this journey has brought me, is no more. We're not doing that anymore. We're not going to go jump into the ocean half knowing how to swim, trying to save 20 people.
Right.
You're gonna die.
Right.
That's what I was doing. So thank you for the ocean.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Was there anything else that you wanted to share more on?
I would just say my own journey right now has just been this acknowledgement of myself, and I had to do an incredible amount of work over the last 5 years to get to this point where I am now, where I'm, I've transitioned off of Lexapro because I was struggling with anxiety, and I realized that was a condition of the world that I was in, not actually myself. So getting to the place where I have regulation and balance within myself and calm within myself, and now the ability to set boundaries so that I can protect that and keep my anxiety low, because I'm not supposed to be in that place. We're not supposed to as humans. But just this strong pull to help others, empower others during this shift, because we are seeing systems are dismantling. And I'm like you, I'm not in the news, I'm aware of things, but I keep saying the only thing that we can do is maintain our own little worlds.
Yes.
Because the big world, if we pay attention to it, it's going to make us ignore the right now, which is what we need to pay attention to, the right here, right now. When the big systems fall apart and we feel unstable, the stability is found within ourselves, like you were saying. So I feel very called to being the example of being a steady force by taking care of myself, not by self-sacrificing and saying, oh, I can, like even in the creation of this space, I'm a massage therapist, but I had to say that's not something I really want to do here, because I did that for 20 years and I need to keep more for myself. I need to do other things. So my journey right now is just, I see beauty in every single day. I see gifts in every single day. And even though people are so upset around, I continue to want to show them that there are gifts here and that we are supposed to be here to love each other. We are the embodiment of love in this form, or can be. But I just feel like being right here, right now is the best thing. I am grateful for everything I've gone through, and I'm ready to fully be who I'm supposed to be.
Thank you. One thing I would like to ask is, you mentioned that you used to have anxieties. I don't know if you still do, but you mentioned, we're not supposed to feel that way. And I want to encourage you that if there is any times that the anxieties come up, and I might actually ask you about that in a second, but we have these understandings of spirituality, right? Anxiety, that's not how we should be. But the thing is if it's in there, if it's even if it's deep down, then it's going to stay there unless it comes up and gets processed. Back to this conversation earlier. And so what I would like to ask is, what do your anxieties show up about?
That's a great question. My anxieties have always been around being good enough people pleasing, making sure that I appear or present or, making sure that I'm always over accommodating for the balance so that I'm never indebted to somebody and I'm taking care of somebody. And so what I meant when I said was, we're not supposed to be that way. We're not supposed to be that way all the time. We're supposed to use our anxiety as a clue that something is off, And so for me, getting to a state where I have more consistent calm versus anxiety is a reflection of the work that I believe I've done on my anger, because my anxiety and my anger are closely linked. I would get anxious, couldn't do anything with it, choke it back down, couldn't say what I actually wanted to say. Instead of, saying, no, thank you, I don't want to do that, I would say yes, and then feel dread it, and then feel anxious about it, and then I have to do it and go through the motions, and then recognizing that I was the instrument of my own torture in that. So now, the anxiety is going away, I can let the anger arise, and I don't have to worry about pleasing people or doing for someone else in that moment. I can be myself, and I can let the anger come through, and then I can say goodbye to it, because it doesn't serve me anymore. Once it's up and out, it's served its purpose. So, that's where.
I would like to share one more thing about our own performance. Because that's something that is always a challenging topic, and I feel it's hard to wrap our minds around this completely. But if we think about, let's start off on the other end. Let's talk about some of the craziness that's happening in the world. Some people may be really concerned about what people in power are doing. And that fear when I look at it, I just sit there and I think, do you really think that these people, who are not the smartest people in the world, even the smartest people couldn't achieve this, but do you really think that these people are pulling one over on the universe? Do they really have this super secret thing that they're doing that is not seen, that is not accounted for? And looking at that, and looking at this big stage thing, it kind of helps you to, and if you just feel into that, maybe have as a subject of meditation, you really can feel how big the plans of the universe are.
Yeah.
And then let's apply it to yourself. I know there's things that I've done in my past that I'm like, wow, that was awful.
Mm-hmm.
But even at that point, we weren't outside the plans. We were exactly where we were supposed to be,
Yes.
and doing exactly what we needed to do to learn and to be going where we need to go.
Absolutely.
And so when we think about ourselves now, it's like, wow, if that stuff that I am not proud of in my past, if all of that was a part of the plan, and if all of that was a part of things, then I can't be doing that badly right now, can I?
Right.
And feeling into that can really help you to not worry about your performance as much.
It's taken a while to get there, but I heard years ago, and I just would repeat it to myself as a mantra, we decide what's right and wrong as a society all the time, and it changes. It's changed as humanity has changed. But there truly are no rights or wrongs. There are the things that evolve us and the things that don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can look back and I can see my spiritual growth, and I see the hardest times, the times that I did things that I hope I never do again. But I see their purpose, and I see that as evolution. So in that, I can give myself a lot of grace as I look back, and give myself grace as I move forward. I can also step back and see this greater chaos as, to your point, like the universe is so much bigger. So this is the thing that's creating evolution right now. It's creating discomfort. It's creating, this unraveling of these systems. But we're going to later see this was such an evolutionary point. So.
Our consciousness does grow, evolve, and change through being stirred up, through, because we as beings, we like to settle.
Yeah.
We just like everything's, it's good. I'll just do my routine.
Yeah.
But then you don't grow.
Right.
And in this time, it is really about growth.
It really is. Yeah.
It
It really is.
Ooh, I'm gonna stand up, stretch my legs.
Yes.
I will say, because might as well, that this meditation practice can be done sitting, which is, I most often sit in a chair when I do it. But you can be laying down, and you can be standing. However, whenever you stand, I would recommend you do it with open eyes.
Yeah. Very good.
Because I've tried it, and every now and then you'll start to tip into the side somehow. And if you get too deep into it, you may not pay attention enough to how you're standing.
Yes.
But I find the standing especially to be useful for trying to develop the practice for use in daily life.
Yeah, I like that.
Because a lot of times we're standing,
That's
we're moving around.
Yeah,
And if you develop the ability to do that, you can do it anyway.
absolutely. Oh, I can imagine, even like you're standing in line, and instead of,
Yes.
you're just waiting, and instead of the frustration of like, oh, I'm standing here, or looking at my phone, embodying the practice and breathing in, thank you, and I
That's
love
my
you,
favorite time.
into and out of the experience, into and out of yourself, and then it changes, you know, then it's not this thing that you're just struggling.
It helps when I'm in it. I feel, you know, when you're in a rush or you're running just a tad bit late, and you'll get a stop sign or a bus. Some things happen where it's done at least like the first one, like frustration, I gotta go, and then I get something else. I'm like, okay, universe telling me to slow down, and we go, thank you, I love you, and that really does. It gives me my mind something to focus on, and then I don't know. It's a nice little tool to have in your pocket. I really love having it.
And it always, for me, it helps me to feel so much better.
Yes.
And because I feel better after that,
let's-
I also react and respond better too.
That's exactly what you're saying.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Is it recommended at all? Like, different meditation forms have different suggestions around sleep, but as a transition to falling to sleep.
Oh.
So, that is a great question. I do it before bed almost every night.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't necessarily recommend it as a transition to sleep because you're flowing a bunch of energy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make you tired.
Right.
In fact, oftentimes it has the opposite effect. So a lot of times I'll sit in my bed completely flat. I'll remove the pillow from my head and I'll do it for a while until I do everything so intuitively until I come back to myself or until I open my eyes or until I realize I'm not meditating anymore.
Right.
And then I roll over and go to
And then you
sleep.
go to sleep. Yeah.
Oh,
I like
okay.
that.
So that is kind of like a transition from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like
But yeah, I never fall asleep during it.
No, yeah. It's
Just
hard,
'cause-
it's hard too with the active,
Yeah,
I would imagine.
that. Yes, that's completely correct.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the question. Okay, so we're about to do our second meditation. And for this one, I had planned 20 to 30 minutes. And so we'll kind of take it as it goes. And during this one, since it's longer, if you guys have any questions or, or if it's just too long or you find that, I've found I've opened my eyes and maybe I'm done, just let me know. We'll play it by ear. We don't have to go the full time. That's not the point. I really want or have this, whatever desire for my classes to be in large part just about holding space and allowing everyone to talk and share what they've been going through and what they've learned. Because I think we just don't get enough of that.
We don't.
So,
That's powerful.
thank you both for all of your participation today.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as we head into this, I want to share two more things real quick. One of the best ways to listen for messages from spirit or whatever to me is I do the breath work for a while. Again, start the engine, get charged up. You might have heard this one before. And feel into whatever, again, challenges you may have had on your spiritual journey or whatever questions you might have. After you're charged up, feel into that a little bit and then just go silent inside. Don't focus on your breath. Don't use your mind for anything. Within yourself, just try and listen with every ounce of anything that you have, your body, your mind, just listen. And if you do that, I often find a thought or a message or something will come in. If that happens, follow it with your intuition. So that was the one thing, because as we go into this, I think, that may be a good way to get some more movement on whatever's been shared or whatever's coming up. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention is a little fun. Now you can play with this practice, and I've done this in a couple of different ways. But one way that might strike a chord that it did with me is you can play a game of ball or a game of catch with source. And so as you're breathing in, thank you, that's the ball being thrown to you.
Oh, I like that.
And as you reach the bottom of your in-breath, you have it. And then I love you. And as you breathe out, the ball is soaring through the air towards source. Thank you. And you can play a game of catch. And to me, when I first encountered this and did it, it was so wonderful. And it was just this very fun experience. So I wanted to mention that in case you guys wanted to try something like that. And especially as you're charging yourself up, that can be a fun way to do that too. All right, any questions before we start our second meditation? Okay, so we'll go ahead and close our eyes, and I will read the instructions again while you guys begin. Or while meditating, breathe in and out as slowly as you can comfortably. Hold the words "thank you" in your mind while breathing in. Hold the words "I love you" in your mind while breathing out. Place your awareness on your heart chakra in the center of your chest. Be a witness to everything that happens there as you breathe. Notice everything within this space and take it in without judgment. Your physical body and how it feels, a feeling of aliveness within each cell, any and all other sensations that appear within your awareness. ready, begin to open your eyes. But continue with the breath work for a little bit longer. Continue feeling inside for a little bit longer. When you feel ready, if there's anything that you want to write, please do so. That was about 25 minutes. We have about 15 minutes until 9. Have you written everything you feel? Okay. Would either of you like to share about your experience or what you wrote?
I loved the exchange of the catch. I did that pretty actively, and I immediately noticed the second time. So much easier to drop in, but also having that exchange. And to me, source was just light that would glow back as I returned the ball of light. But noticing how it was easier to be so disconnected from my thoughts because it was just my brain was occupied. So like this is what I'm doing. And so then I could notice my body without thinking about it, if that makes sense.
It does.
And then also just feeling at a certain point this shift, and it wasn't like at first I was throwing it and I could feel myself throwing it. But then it was like I didn't even have to use my arm to throw the light. I could just beam it back and forth, and then I felt the light coming into me, which it was just so lovely, and it just felt like it was so easy to stay very present with this meditation in the way, but I want to be present without the distraction of work.
One thing I want to mention about that game of catch is it really is every breath that we take, we're receiving energy from source.
Yeah.
And when we breathe out, we're emitting back to source. Source is all around us. Source is this room, it's the walls, it's you and I, it's everything. And so as we breathe out and we emit that love, we're sending it back to source. So it really literally is just a back and forth between you and source. So I really enjoy that practice, and you can carry it, anywhere. So thank you for sharing.
This was interesting. So my throat, you probably heard me clear my throat a couple times. That usually there's something, because I focused on figuring out maybe what this, what's trying to move, and just allowing that. I tried to start with the ball, and that's not what I was supposed to do. It just kind of was like, no, we're gonna just keep breathing. And then this time, so instead of feeling someone around, it was like kind of, for me, it comes in as shadows. But there was multiple people. So there's multiple people, and again, I'm just kind of watching them almost like so it's like I can see them above us. Does that make sense? So watching us down here. So I'm like above that, and I'm just watching, and they're just kind of like, I don't know, there's things with us, and they're very interested in whatever's happening. So that was really neat. And then I had what I would consider a visual for myself, which was kind of interesting. So it was kind of almost like you're black and white, like I don't really see color. And then all of a sudden it was like this tiny little pinhole just started opening up. And it was like it was almost like maybe I was on a roller coaster, because I was kind of going up and I see this little pin opening up, but then I realized I'm in a tunnel. So I'm in a tunnel and I can just barely see this pin open up, and all I see is the peaks of these mountains, like not snowy mountains. So I saw brown, and then I saw blue, and then it closed back up really quick. And in that moment I smiled really big, because I was like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Just a little peek of something. And that kind of made me think of kind of what's been going on. It's almost like this, it's like this roller coaster, like I can just kind of see what's coming, and then it's like, not yet, you know, it's.
Can't spoil it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then a man came in, so there was a man with a white beard and white hair, literally holding a staff, but I couldn't see what he was wearing. I could only make out his the whiteness, but he was just, I don't know, he was present, he was there, but he was very strong, but very calm. I don't know who that was. So that was interesting, I saw that. And then with my body, I don't know how to explain it, maybe dropping in or going away from my body, because I no longer feel my feet. That's where it starts, like where I can't feel my feet. I no longer am feeling my legs. I'm here and I know my body's there, but I'm not in it. And this is like the second time I think this has happened, and that's, I think, what's happening, because, and the way that I'm getting whatever visual or sense that I'm getting, it's like I'm seeing it elsewhere. I don't know. So, I don't know, maybe I went on a little trip.
Yeah.
And then another thing I remember that came in was an eye. So there was, like, after all of that, just one single eye, and it was blue. And then it was like it opened, and then it went ahead and closed and faded away. And I was like, maybe that reminded me of like Third Eye, because it was big and it was massive, but it was beautiful. So I saw that. Oh yeah, and then I think the sensations, because I'm like, okay, I'm noticing this has happened before, and I believe one other time this has happened with meditation. And it's like I jolted, like it was almost like jolt, like coming in or out of my body. But this was very peacefully there, and then I was able to experience whatever I did, and then kind of disconnecting from myself, but in a very comfortable way.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Ooh, things are getting good, Andrew.
That's what, to me, every time I really sit down and devote a chunk of time to this, I always seem to go on some sort of journey. Oddly enough, not while I'm teaching. While I'm teaching, I'm always
like you have
here.
To be here because of prayer.
Yeah, and I'm here and holding the room. But when I'm doing this on my own, on my balcony, because that's my favorite place, I always go on a journey, and it's, not always fully visual, it's not always in my body, and it's always new, and usually it feels fantastic while I'm doing it too. So that's,
I appreciate it, because I don't ever meditate really, like really sitting in the quiet and just being. Like I have little blippets of that, but now, I don't know, tonight was very exciting for me, because I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do this, and now I need to just now practice at home. I had a question for you on that.
Yeah.
Or maybe even you as well, because you've meditated, and this is all new for me. For a timer, because obviously I don't want to be constantly checked. I don't want to have to check whatsoever, but I would like it to be a long amount of time that I really feel, like the 10 minutes or the 15. I really now, and that's why I specifically wrote down the times we had, so I can know what effects I had for each one and maybe how long. So a timer, a gentle one, like not something that's gonna bring me out of
It's a great question.
craziness.
So here's how I do that when I'm concerned about time. If you have an upper limit, do set, like, you're like, in 30 minutes, I have to go do this thing. Like, I can't go beyond that.
Okay.
Definitely set a timer. That, in those situations, it really is helpful. Maybe just have it, if it's on your phone, just have it vibrate. Maybe not make a noise.
Oh, that would be better.
There are actually meditation timer apps. Insight is my favorite one. Insight meditation timer.
Awesome.
So then it's chimey, and you can set like the warning chime and then the final chime. You can do all kinds of things.
Oh, thank you.
But if you don't have an upper limit, if you're just like, I don't want to go forever, and I also want to know how much time it's been, start a stopwatch that counts up.
Oh.
And that way, it doesn't ding, it doesn't do anything.
It's just for how much time I've been.
It lets you know how much time you've been doing it. And if you ever find yourself in the middle of meditation, you're like, oh, my eyes are open now. Just check the timer and see how long it's been. And then if you feel like, oh, okay, it's enough, then you can stop. Or if you feel like, oh, I could do more, or whatever, go back in. So I find doing a running stopwatch timer, which is how I've done our timers tonight, I find that to be a really good way. And that's helped me to gauge how long my sessions are.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
I enjoyed how much it didn't, like time didn't, I was surprised both times, like 10 minutes, oh, that went so quickly. And then when we were done the second time, I was like, what? No, I'm not done, so, yeah.
I noticed we were starting to run short on time is the only reason why I ended it. And it was funny because the second time for me, even though I'm trying to pay attention to the time and I'm staying here in the room, the first 12 minutes, gone.
Yeah.
And that was before I even checked it at all. And I was like, oh, wow, that felt like shorter time than the previous time, which we did 10.
Right.
I was like, wow, it felt much shorter than that.
Did, yeah.
So, so yeah, that definitely happens. Okay. I would like to read one thing as we close here, and I believe it's at the bottom of your sheet. And this to me is very important. Our unique love. Everything we've ever done has built to this moment right now. All of our experiences have given us uniqueness. This uniqueness affects our love energy. The love we give is special. There is no other love in all that is like our love, like our own love. This means it is always valuable beyond estimation to give love. Even if we are always surrounded by an ocean of love, as we are, the love we add to it is unlike any other. Our unique love can only come through us. The more we provide, the more there is in this existence. And the love we give connects us with everything it touches.
Can I add something in here?
Yes.
I'd like to read something, if I could. It's a short thing.
Go for it.
I feel, for whatever reason, it needs to be added to that a little bit. I can't remember exactly where I found it, but it resonated with me so much that I ended up making multiple copies of this, and I put them in a kind of a sandwich bag, and then wherever I'm at, I'll just leave them somewhere so somebody will find them.
Oh, I love that.
And the tip is all just a white piece of paper folded in a quarter, and on the outside it says "Love yourself," and it's in red and it has a heart. So I wanted to read this, kind of piggybacking off of that, and it kind of goes into, because for me, like, that is what saved me out of the depths of hell, was love, right? Like,
Absolutely.
love, like, it's the one thing that has stood true. I had that. I'm like, all of the horrible things I endured from whether other people or situations I put myself in, that is the one thing that stood true to me. It was like literally my little light was still shining.
Yes.
I kept that, And so when I read this, it touched me so much. So of course I had to try to spread it around the world, because I just feel kind of what's happening is the more that we're learning to heal and truly love ourselves exactly how we are and where we are, we freely are able to love and give that out.
That's right.
Yes.
And it's never ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a never ending.
I have a good way to describe that when you're done reading.
You can actually keep talking. I
Okay.
have to look for this because I didn't have it on me.
So to me, the best way that I have found to think about that, and it can also tie into the breath work, is a flame. Now, a flame doesn't really think about the light that it's casting. The flame itself is a heat reaction. It's the change. It's the fuel turning into energy. That's what the flame itself is. The heat is a byproduct. The light is a byproduct. So, in a very similar way, as we do the breath work and we breathe in and out, you can imagine an ember. And as you breathe in, the ember glows. And as you breathe out, the ember glows. And then you can take it a step further and think of it as a light. And with your light, you don't have to worry about what it's casting on. You don't have to think about anything other than it burning inside of you and the feeling inside of your own body. And the more that you charge yourself up, the greater your light is. And so as you're focusing on yourself and you're charging yourself up, you don't have to worry about casting it. You don't have to worry about, oh, I'm going to send it. You can, but you don't have to, because it's already being emitted everywhere.
Right.
As you focus on yourself and your ember.
Oh, that's the perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I will read this. I am not afraid to tell you I love you. Your mind may say, how can you love me when you don't even know me? I don't need to know you. I don't need to justify my love. I love you because this is my pleasure. Love coming out of me makes me happy, and it's not important if you reject me because I don't reject myself. In my story, I live in an ongoing romance and everything is beautiful to me. To live in love is to be alive again. When you recover your integrity, you always follow love. You live your life as an eternal romance because when you love yourself, it is easy to love everyone else. You love so much that you don't need anyone else's love to make you happy. Don Miguel Ruiz, I think.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. Beautiful.
So I was like, yes, it's one of those things, because a lot of, I've, come across people where I use I love you freely. When I feel it, I will say I love you. I love you. And it's something that people, and we are just not super comfortable hearing. It's like, oh, that's weird. Is it? No. I love you. I hug you. When I hug you because I love you.
Yes.
And I love you whether you're a stranger or not, because we're all here together, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's always sounds like this kind of hippie love and peace, but there's so much behind it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Once you get there.
That's right.
I'm like, I've always felt that, but then once, I don't know, just how everything has aligned with that, and people need that so much.
Absolutely.
Because people don't know how to love themselves.
That's right.
And until they can see, when they're watching changes, right? People are all around us all the time. People will see changes whether they do or not. But I feel, again, we're these embers, right?
Yeah.
And with these embers, it's like they come closer. And it's like, well, what is that? It's like, oh yeah, you can hang out if you want, but here you go. You're going to have to find something on your own. But here, this is where, you know what I mean? It's like helping each other get there. Because we are the only ones that can heal ourselves. Nobody else can do it for us.
That's right.
And we can't do it.
For anyone else.
Andrew
Yes.
also gave me a great example of that, a reminder. When we had first started kind of exchanging messages after the first time we talked about breath work. Mm-hmm. And it was something he was going through, or he was going through something, like I'm going through a process, whatever it was. And I had reached out, let me know if there's anything, whatever it was I had said. Mm-hmm. And he goes, well, that's okay. I appreciate it, but that's okay. This is something that I am working through, this is not part of your responsibility to fight. So whatever it was in the exchange, I'm sure I still have it. In that moment, I was like, oh, thank you, Andrew.
Yes.
Okay, that's right. I don't have to do this, because when I love and care about the people in my life, I do. It's like, I got your back everywhere. Well, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that, because the people I do have in my life now, they really do have their own backs.
That's right.
And I'm just here for support when you need a hand sometimes. I'm still over here.
Yes.
And-
I love that. That's so beautiful.
So,
Even if it doesn't seem like they have their own back, don't worry. The universe has their back.
yes.
That's right.
Because it's not, it isn't has been my biggest lesson. It is not my job.
That's right.
And that's not selfish to say that.
It's
Nope.
not.
It's not selfish to take care of myself.
Nope.
which are all things that I always thought were.
I mean, we've all been kind of taught that and absorbed
Right.
those messages through society. So it's a valuable lesson to learn.
Yeah.
I tell my kiddos that you're the only person that you go through this life with from start to finish. So it is number one, you have to figure out how to love yourself. And it's easy to teach when they're kids, but like, tell me what you love about yourself instead of that, what we were told, like, oh, don't talk about yourself. That's, and my therapist said to me at one point, nobody's in therapy because they were told they were too, like you were loved too much or you're
Right.
like you love yourself too much.
You can't be overloved.
That's right. That's not a thing. So
Lack of.
Yeah.
I want to share one more thing on that note, which is there's a secret behind this breath work that is, as you are breathing in thanks and out love, you are sending love. And as you focus your awareness on your heart space, you're sending that love to your own heart. And that is self-love in an energetic form. And that is why you can feel more charged up. And when you feel more charged up, you can give more. And so that is quite literally self-love.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is so
Thank you both for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off.